Hello, Elly here again from Thankful Flow Yoga. Welcome to this practice. Thank you so much for joining me on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, then I recommend that you do so. It's completely free, and then you can see my latest flows coming up. I post new flows every week, sometimes twice a week, and I do a mixture of different kind of levels. So today we're going to be doing a Vinyasa style flow. It is going to be more of an intermediate level practice, I would say. However, there will be plenty of options in there. So just as always, listening to your body. I strongly recommend having props and blocks to support you in this practice, no matter how or what your yoga experience is. Having a brick style block would be really helpful today. If you don't have that, then you could use a really thick, really sturdy block instead. So go and get those now if you haven't already. And we'll come into comfortable seated position to start on the mat. So today we're going to be doing quite a floaty kind of, I suppose, air element inspired flow. We're going to be working into some spinal extension, so some back bends and some balance. So we're going to be trying to move really gracefully, really lightly. So thinking about that air element a bit today in this practice. So to begin with, I want you to bring the hands to heart center. Rest one hand over the top of the other. Find your comfortable seated position. Use any blocks or props that you need here. And start to close the eyes or take a steady gaze and reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Notice the connection between your hands and your chest. Notice how the body moves with your breathing. And starting the class with seeing if you can find a sense of ease within this present moment. If you were to feel at ease right now, how do you think that would feel within your body? Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw. Feeling the connection between your hands and the chest, your heart space, your heart center, our heart chakra, energy center located in this area, Anahata. Releasing the hands when you're ready and opening the eyes back up if you have them closed. So bring the right hand to the ground beside you, and we're going to move with the breath. So a lot of this practice will be one breath, one action. So inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, float into a stretch over to the right side. Move over, floating over to the other side. So the left hand comes down, right arm comes up. And I encourage you to let your breath lead you here. So I'm guiding you through, and you can of course listen to my breath prompts, but see if you can allow your breath to lead your movement. And if that means going at a different pace to me, then that's okay. This is a breath-led practice. So imagine that you're floating the arms so lightly through the air. Stretching on each side. You can pause for a little bit longer on one side or the other if that feels good too. You know, have some creativity and expression in your practice. Lovely, finishing your last one, and we'll come back to center. And now we'll work with some twists. So we'll inhale first and sweep both arms up to the sky. Lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, the left arm's coming out in front, the right arm's coming out behind. So we're twisting from the waist as we breathe out. And then see if you can find the left hand coming to the left leg and the right hand coming to the floor behind. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, I want you to float the arms back up to center. Exhale, we come onto the other side, so twisting over to the left. And if you get confused with the arms at all here, just remember that we're twisting from one side and then to the other. So the arms are not the most important part of this movement. The breath is important, the twist from the waist is important. If the arms aren't, are getting a little bit confused, that's okay. Place them somewhere that feels right for you. So now working through a little bit more fluidly. So inhale, float the arms up to the sky. Exhale, twisting to the right, float the arms down. Take a breath on this side. Inhale, float the arms back to center. Exhale, twisting to the left, following with the gaze. Take one breath here. Inhale, reach the arms back to center, and once more on each side. So moving with your breath, exhaling into the twist, following with your gaze. Twist is initiating from the waist. Inhaling back to center as we lift up and out. Exhale, twisting over to the other side. And then we're going to release, make our way back to center now. Well done. Now, grabbing your block, making sure that that's to hand. We're going to bring the soles of the feet down to the mat and pointing the toes out. So a little bit of a challenge here. This is just a bit of fun. So if it doesn't work for you, or you can't come into the pose this way, then that's okay. So we're going to find this Malasana position first of all. So we've got the elbows coming to the inside of the knee. We're opening into the hips, the groin, the toes are pointing out. And I want you to see, if you can, you might need to rock back and you can release the arms to get a bit of momentum really strong through the core. So if you can shift that weight forward, can you find your Malasana? Maybe your ankles are clicking as mine just did. Okay, so this is where you might like to bring your block. Have it under the hips. You could have something under the heels. You could roll your mat up to take any adjustments that you need here. And we're going to float in our Malasana. So whatever option you've gone for, hands start in our heart center position and really lifting through Mula Bandha, engaging your root lock, pelvic floor muscles, all the way up into the core, through to the crown of the head, reaching the spine tall. So we're going to float, we're going to open the arms out, so right fingertips come down, left fingertips up to the sky. And back to center. Float over to the other side. Left fingertips come down, right arm reaches up to the sky. Inhale, back to center. Over to the right side again. Draw the hands back to center. Over to the left side. Draw the hands back to center. Well done. Now we're going to start to press through the feet. Inhale, start to use that power and strength in the legs to lift the body up to center. Exhale, sink back down, bending through the legs. You could reduce this range of movement as well if it's too much for you. This time we're going to add in the arms. So as we inhale, we're lifting the body up and drawing the belly in. Reach the arms up to the sky. Can you bring them out to the side? You can imagine that you're guiding energy with your hands. That energy is coming up and around the body, and you're drawing the energy back down to the earth. Lovely. Inhale, we're lifting the energy up. Energy's rising up to the sky, drawing all around the body. And then we draw that energy back down to the earth. Well done. And last time. Inhale, lifting that energy. And floating the arms around. Walk the feet in. And then step to the top of your mat. Coming to your Tadasana mountain pose. Take a big shoulder roll. Let the shoulders run down your back. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Fold forward. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest. Lengthen the spine. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step the feet back, finding your plank position, shoulders above the wrist, pausing here. Fingers nice and spread, connect to that center line of energy. Exhale, drop the knees, keep the elbows tucked in, lower down. Inhale, roll the shoulders, peel the chest away from the mat, cobra, or upward facing dog. I'm going to do the modified sun salutation to begin with today. Tops of the feet pressed into the mat. Activate the legs. Exhale. Release the chest back down to the ground. And then on your next exhale, sending the hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. Fingers nice and spread. Pressing the thumbs and the first finger into the mat. This is the strongest part of our hands. You can take a pedal out in your downward facing dog. Through the legs. Sending the gaze between the knees onto the mat. Reconnect with your breath. Check in with how the body's feeling. Inhale, send the gaze between the hands, walk or jump the feet in, lift the chest and lengthen the spine, find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, grow the spine tall. Exhale, bring the hands through to heart center. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky. Lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Bend the legs as much as you need to. Forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Halfway lift. Exhale, draw the hands down to the mat. Step the feet back. Find your plank position. And then on your inhale, moving through into your chaturanga, so finding either a cobra on the inhale or your upward facing dog. Exhale, we meet back in downward facing dog. Hips are coming to the sky. Remember your legs can be as bent as they need to be here. The main focus is the length and strength of the spine, and that's always what we're prioritizing in our downward facing dog. And in many, many other poses. Not all, but majority. So not worrying about the legs being straight. Just keep lifting those hips to the sky, lifting up and out through the shoulders. So from here, on your next inhale, lift that right foot away from the mat. Draw the right foot through, step it through between the hands. And we inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, find a high lunge. Check that front knee is in line with the ankle. Left arm comes forward, right arm comes back. So coming into twist, you can either work here for the twist, or this right hand is perhaps coming down to really lightly rest on the back of the left thigh. The left arm's coming up towards the left ear. So we're in this reverse high lunge position. Breathing here. And start to release. And we're going to step this left foot in. The left toes at a slight angle. Right foot is facing forwards. And I want you to grab your block with the left hand. And we're going to place that block to the outside of the right foot, and you're bringing your left hand to the block, and the right fingertips are reaching up to the sky. So we're in our reverse Trikonasana. Gaze is coming up to the sky as well here. Of course, if you are bringing the hand down, then please do, but really recommend having the option of the block there for you for this one. Keep breathing. Pressing those feet down and away into the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, come back to neutral, round through this right foot and lift the left leg away, bend that left leg in, draw the heel in towards the hips, bringing your hands to the foot. And start with just finding this quad stretch. See if you can gently press the hips forward a little here, stretching into that left quad. And then we're going to find our dancer pose. So bring the left hand so that it's coming to the inside of the left foot. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. And to begin with, before we move the upper body at all, we're actually going to press the foot into the hand into the foot, and bring that left leg out behind you first and find the position here. And then from this place, keeping that activation with the foot pressing into the hand pressing into the foot, maybe you start to pivot forward in your dancer pose. Finding a drishti or a gazing point. Keep breathing. And then I want you to slowly start to release. See if you can do this with control. We're not dropping the left foot back down yet. Bring the hands to heart center. Left leg still bent in if you can. Don't worry if you're wobbling and falling out, just meeting here. And then we're gonna start to press the left foot out behind, find your warrior three. Hips are square. You can take the hands to blocks if you wish to modify. Imagine you're pressing that left foot into something behind, and then release. Take a big step back with the left leg, coming back to your high lunge. Well done for staying with me. Bring the hands down to frame that right foot. Step back to plank and vinyasa. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths. Remember that child's pose is always there. If you need to come to the child's pose today, then take that option. There's no right or wrong when you're listening to your body. Inhale, lift the left foot away this time. Draw the left foot through between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Find your high lunge. This time we're sending the right arm forward. Left arm comes back. So all this movement is really initiating from the waist. We're not moving the legs at all. Inhale, left arm maybe starts to float to the back of the right thigh, and the right arm comes up towards the right ear. Maybe you're sending the gaze up to the ceiling, but no worries if you're staying with the arms out here. That might be enough for you. Breathing into that space. You could always drop that back knee down to modify. Starting to release the arms. Step your right foot in, right toes are pointing out this time. Left toes are straight. And then take your right hand to the block. Block is going to the outside of the left foot. Right hand's resting there. Left fingertips come up to the sky. Reverse Trikonasana. Option to have the right hand coming down to the mat. That's just an option. Breathing. Press the feet down and away into the mat. Stay with the breath. Inhale, lifting back to neutral. Now we're going to step forward into this left leg. Bend your right leg in. Can you bring the hand to the right foot? And we'll start with just the stretch here. So drawing the heel in towards the hips, pressing the hips forward, stretching through that right thigh, feeling a lovely calf stretch. Now I want you to bring the hand to the inside of that right foot. Okay, and we lift the left arm up to the sky, inhaling, and then start to press the right foot, into the right hand, and the right hand pressing back into the right foot, creating this activation. Find this first, and then maybe you start to drop the chest down into your dancer. Breathing here. Keep that activation in the back leg, finding a drishti or a gazing point if that works for you. One more breath. And see if you can release with control. No worries if you can't. We're keeping that right leg hovering off the mat if you can. Don't worry if not, just meet us here. And then we're going to press the right foot out behind. Find a warrior three, hands at heart center. Flex that right foot, pressing into something behind. I know the left standing leg is really feeling it here. One more breath in warrior three. Take that big step back with the right foot. Reach the arms up to the sky. And bring the hands down to frame the left foot. Step back, find plank. And vinyasa. Inhaling into your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to downward facing dog, or take a child's pose. Take a releasing breath here. So breathe in through your nose and breathe out through the mouth. Feels so good to take a releasing breath in downward facing dog at this part of the practice. I don't know if that's just me. Really pressing the hands into the mat, pressing the mat away from you with your hands. So our arms should be really strong, and imagine that you're drawing the arms in towards the ears. So drawing those triceps in. Inhale, send the gaze between the hands, step or jump the feet in, lift the chest and lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands through to heart center. We'll take a couple of breaths of grounding here. So just breathing into your space. Releasing the arms to the side of the body, closing the eyes if that's comfortable. Noticing the space around you. Noticing any space you've created in the body, in the mind. Notice whether your breathing feels spacious. Coming back to that air element. How does air move? How does air feel? What parts of the body can you feel your breath, your prana traveling into? Maybe the chest, the belly. Maybe it's other areas too. Opening the eyes back up now if you have them closed. Inhale, sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forwards, bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw the hands down to the mat, step the feet back. Exhale, drop the knees down, lower the body so that we're lying on the front. And then bring your arms so that they're coming to the side of the body now. And we're going to bend the legs. And to start with, I want you to have the soles of the feet so that they are facing the ceiling. So feet are kind of flexed here, okay? So we're going to come into our bow pose. So we've done some dancer pose today. We've done some spinal extension. So we're going to be working with this again, really strengthening the muscles in the back body that are supporting our spine as well. So we are going to start with doing a active version of bow pose. So to start with, inhale, lift the chest away from the mat and lift the arms away. So like when we're doing half locust. And then you can either be staying here or you're starting to lift the legs away too, but we're not bringing the hands to the feet. And we're really pressing. Imagine the soles of your feet are pressing towards the sky. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Relax the face as much as you can. Well done. Exhale, release everything back down. Come into crocodile, so arms out to the side, elbows out to the side. Rest the head. Relax all the muscles in the body. Take a couple of breaths here. Now I want you to bring the arms back around to the side of the body. Bend the legs in. And if your hands are able to come to the feet without too much trouble, then you can bring the hands there onto the ankles. If that is not accessible to you, then come back to the option of bow pose that we just did. And you can make it into a half. So you could lift the chest, you don't have to lift the legs as well. So really listen to your body and what feels right for you and take that option. If you're bringing the hands to the feet and taking them there, inhale, lift the chest away first, then press the feet into the hands, hands into the feet. You start to lift the legs away as well. Try and keep the legs parallel. So we don't want the knees really kind of coming out to the side. We want to use the activation in the glutes and legs. So keep breathing here. So we're really opening into the front of the body here. There's a lot going on. So keep staying with your breath. Well done. Exhale, release. Bring everything back down to the mat. Bring the elbows out to the side. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Closing the eyes. Letting everything melt down into the earth. Imagine that you're lying on a sandy beach and your body's just sinking into the sand. The sand's molding to the shape of your body. It's soft, warm sand. Your body's just sinking deeper and deeper down. And just observe any thoughts passing through the thinking mind. Notice any sensations within the body. And then start to bring the hands so that they're underneath the shoulders. Opening the eyes if you have them closed. And inhale, lift the body away from the mat, come back to all fours. And we'll finish the class by sitting the hips back towards the heels and finding a child's pose. So this is really gently counterposing the movements that we've just done. Resting the forehead on the mat or to the hands or to a block. Just make sure that the forehead is connected with something. And allow the body to soften, to let go, to surrender. And if you're ready to come out of the practice, take a deep inhale, draw the belly in, and just slowly curl the body up to a kneeling or seated position on the mat, meeting there. Just relaxing the neck and the shoulders, taking your time to come back into the physical body. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me on this channel. I really appreciate your support. There is a link below to the other things that I offer to my on-demand membership, so do have a look at that. Do subscribe to this channel, and I can't wait to see you again very, very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.